people have waited in line just to share this experience of Venom, Candyman, Night of the Living Dead, The Rock, Final Destination. But I want you to know you are now entering the
Cinema
Chop Shop with our top and the pop. Boom, boom, bop.
The Cinema Chop Shop.
What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. And today we are here to review Alien Romulus, directed by Fede Alvarez. And if you don't know who the hell he is, he also did the Evil Dead remake-ish movie from like 2000 and something. But anyway, to the point. So everybody's been looking forward to this Alien Romulus movie. Me just as much as everybody else, and we wanted to see what the hell's been going on. I mean, you know, this movie has been highly followed by a lot of people. A lot of people have a lot of expectations for this damn movie, and so did I. So just to give you guys a quick synopsis of this movie, but make sure to hit the subscribe button before you guys continue this review. But the quick synopsis of this movie: there is a group of people working on a mining planet, which the mining planet, by the way, looks amazing. I'll get to that a little bit later. But these people are stuck on this mining planet doing whatever they're doing forever. Like the company's just finessing them, and they just want to find a way out. So they find out that there is a rogue spaceship just kind of floating out there. And they're like, well, shit, we can go on there. We can go ahead and get them cryogenic chambers, and we could dip off to our planet. Like, forget this whole working on this mine forever thing. Like, we're going to end up dying. So they go to this spaceship that's titled the Romulus, and the main character, her name is Rain, and she has a AI psychic by the name of Tyler, and they are being followed. They're also being accompanied by a band of misfits, and they're trying to take these cryogenic chambers so that they can go to their planet, because it's like a 7-year difference or something like that. And just to give you guys an idea of where this falls into the timeline, this is about a 20-year gap after the original Alien movie, and what, like 37 years or something before Aliens. But anyway, to the point of the matter is that once they get on the ship, everything goes terribly wrong, and then now they find themselves fighting for their lives and trying not to be killed by them freaking face huggers. But anyway, so I have to go ahead and applaud Fede Alvarez, because this man really does care about the things that he does. He took a lot of care with Evil Dead, and he took a lot of care with this movie as well too. There's a lot of Easter eggs. There's a lot of callbacks, and there's a lot of familiarity when you watch this movie. It feels very familiar, you know, and it makes you feel very comfortable. If you like the first Alien movie, and if you like aliens, I think that you're definitely going to like this movie as well too. It doesn't have that same feel of, like, you know, like the Covenant and about Prometheus. It doesn't have that feel. This one has more of a classic feel to it. Now, that is a good thing and a bad thing, because it treads within the same realm as Alien, and it kind of really just kind of walks over those footsteps. It feels a little too familiar at times. It feels like it's kind of like retelling of the same story, and it doesn't really feel super original. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, that's a bad thing, you know, but at the same time, it's like, well, you can either tell a straight story and something that you know that the audience are going to dig and like, or you're going to try to do something new and everybody's going to hate it. So I kind of understand the reasoning behind why he chose to go ahead and tell kind of a familiar story that everybody would be comfortable with. But there is something that happens in the third act. I'm not going to say too much, but just think Ripley's, believe it or not, the world's tallest man. That's all I want to say. But anyway, I digress. The movie is beautifully shot. The cinematography is amazing. And as I mentioned earlier, the mining company, or the mining, just there's a planet where they're mining things. And that planet, that whole setting, that whole feel, it felt so good. Like it looked really good, and it made you feel like you were on this desolated planet. And I felt like they did a really good job at capturing that. Also the freaking space scenes. The space scenes are super amazing. I think the only gripe that I've had with this movie, cinematography wise, is there's a choice to use CGI when rendering someone's face. And to me, it looks freaking terrible. I'm not going to go into too much details about it, but just know that there's a CGI face in this movie that looks fucking atrocious. All right. And but outside of that, I felt like this movie did a really good job at building tension. I felt like the third act dragged a little bit. It felt a little bit it felt like, again, repacing the same steps. It just felt a little too familiar. And I mean, it was interesting. It was fun, but at the same time, I felt like the third act could have been reworked a little bit. But it was still a solid third act. It's not a terrible third act. I just felt like, to me, it kind of like, it started to get old after a while. There are plot holes in the movie, like as you're watching it, there's things that you feel like you know about the xenomorphs and things like that, and you feel like some of the stuff might contradict that, but at the same time, it's just a fun movie. Just watch the damn movie. I don't think that it has to be right on the money every single time. And the movie does a really good job at having fun. There's a character in the movie by the name of Tyler. Great character. I mean, at the beginning, I was kind of like feeling like he might be a little tropey. He might get a little annoying, but then he kind of has like this character development. I want to say like a third through the movie, and he kind of transforms and he becomes a lot more likable, and he's more bearable, right? Because at the beginning you're kind of like, damn dude, this was going to be like a fucking anchor. He's going to be like this, he's going to be like that, and it ends up happening. The main lead, Rain, her character plays out a lot like Ripley, but I feel like Ripley's character has a lot more believability on why she's the lead and why she could kind of be that strong lead. This character really felt weak. You know what I'm saying? Like she felt weak. So when she kind of did rise to the occasion and she became the strong lead, it just didn't feel organic. It kind of felt a little forced. But at the same time, you're going to get that in these type of movies, The one thing that I have heard, though, on a segue note, is that Fede Alvarez wants to communicate with the director that did Prey, and I heard there's talks that maybe they might want to do an Alien versus Predator, which I would be 100% on board with, because I think that's an amazing idea, because he's saying that he would want to direct half of the movie, and then Dan, I forgot his last name, he would direct the other half. That's the idea that he has. But based off of watching Alien Romulus, I'm 100% on board with it, because just the cinematography, the time, the care that he took into this film, you could really tell that he really cares about this franchise, and he didn't want to do too much. And I respect that. Sometimes doing too much is just asking to be just shot in the foot and to be burned at the cross by the community. So again, I'm glad that he didn't go too crazy with it. Again, the third act is a little wonky. There's a very interesting tidbit in there, but I was kind of indifferent about it. I felt like it was a little bit. It was a what the fuck moment, if you really want my idea. But again, it built a little bit more on the lore. We got a couple more ideas. I feel like the horror element of the movie was done fantastically. We had a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of jump scares, but there were some jump scares in this movie. But it was more along the lines of like just sheer terror based off of being transported into the scene. It gives you the idea of tension, especially there's this one scene where the company has to move through a corridor that's being guarded by face huggers, and the idea is not to get captured or to be, basically to get caught by the damn face huggers. So I thought that was a really cool scene. It's very intense, and just there's a couple of scenes in the trailer where you see all the little face huggers like running down the hallway. I thought that looked cool as well too. Overall, the movie is shot beautifully. The monsters look great. The leads are okay. Nobody really stood out to me except for Tyler. Tyler did a fantastic job. Everybody else is kind of like, okay. There's a bad CGI face in there, but again, the cinematography, the CGI, the space scenes, the CGI that was done to render out the mining planet looked amazing. There's a scene where you see the rings. I thought that was a really cool idea too. implementing and having the rings of a planet embedded into the movie, or the space travel. I thought that was really cool. And we can honestly go a lot of different places from this movie once it's done. Once it's all said and done, we can go prequel, we can go sequel, you know? So that's really cool. Fede Alvarez has like a lot of room to work with if this movie is a financial hit. So here on the Cinema Chop Shop, we grade movies in three ways. Count them three ways: either you get bodied and sent to the bowels of hell, and I tell you, this shit is basura, homie, or you get a big fat meh, which means it's monster minnows, mediocre, mid-range, mid-grade, all that good shit. Or I'll tell you that is spare, it's fantastic. Stop what you're doing, go check it out. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and spare this damn movie.
He ain't earned the death. He ain't earned the death at my hands. God's only man, spared by the butcher.
Yeah, you heard it, folks. I'm sparing this movie. I had a fantastic time with this movie. It was beautifully shot. The cinematography was great, and the acting was all right. Tyler did a great job. Xenomorphs did a good job. That's all I needed, to be honest with you. We just needed the blood, the gore, and all that good shit, and they gave it to us. So shout out to Fede Alvarez for bringing us a great movie. Shout out to you guys for coming in and checking out this review. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out. Until the next time, I will see you guys on the next review. Adios.
I want to play a game. Subscribe now. The choice is yours. You're now exiting the cinema chop.